Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here. I want to say a special good morning. My cousins are up this morning in town, R.C. Mills and Lois Mills. They're from Jacksonville, and went out to eat last night with them. Just had a marvelous time. They might be up watching. I don't know if y'all are. Good morning. What a great time we have. Looking at our weather, folks, brought to us by Haney Technical Center at 767-5500. The weather right now is warm all over the place. We're looking at 67 here, 68 in Marianna, and we've had a little bit of rain left over. But the big rain, we've been waiting on is coming. I say we've been waiting on. We've already had between 2 to 4 inches of rain here in the Panhandle, which is wonderful. We'll have some big rain coming on in probably tonight and in the morning. A big heavy front coming in over there toward Mobile and Mississippi right now. But we are looking at a high today of 74, low tonight 62. Water temperatures down to 59 now. That's from the currents now, not from the actual weather. Boating forecast, winds out of the southeast at 10 to 20, seas 4 to 7. And no, Steve Petty, we don't need to be going out 30 miles. He texted me yesterday after I said that. He said, hey, it's time, because he and I always go fishing in the rough seas. He said, it's time for you and I to go out. Let's take a look at our Carl Vernon Marine Specialties tide chart. One of the big things was good, strong tides now and through the weekend. Of course, Sunday, we're going to be enjoying Christmas. We're looking at today on the 22nd. Low tide is this morning right now about 4:50, and high tide is this evening at 6:36. So we got a strong tide coming in today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Good, strong incoming tides. If you want to get a chance to do some bait fishing, it'd be excellent to do it. Also, I want to remind you tomorrow we'll be drawing for the Tarpon Dock Seafood giveaway. And I was down there yesterday talking to them, and here's what they want to give away tomorrow: 2 prizes, 2 nice ones. One of them is going to be a fresh red snapper, and the second prize will be a bag of oysters. So wouldn't it be great to have a bag of oysters for Christmas? I bought a bag of oysters last weekend with our family, and we had a great time. Good oysters, and we eat some half, on half shell, then we eat some, fry them up and all. So anyway, so what we're going to do now on today's show, so anyway, be watching so you can watch it tomorrow. Today's show, we're going to do something a little different. I was thinking, I haven't done anything like this before, but I have 1,000 shows. It doesn't hurt to do it one time. We're going to do a video. A friend of mine, Byron Spires, has a radio talk show over in Gaston County, and Byron and I grew up together, worked in tobacco and all, and he would always have different guests come on. Over the years, he had Mr. Jack Wingate of Lunker Lodge on Lake Seminole. He'd come in over the years, and of course we know Jack just recently passed away, and Byron put together a video with some actual radio interviews. He put interviews together, some pictures and all. So we're going to, after the break, we're going right into it, and hopefully we'll get it all in. We're going to spend a lot of time. Jack Wingate is literally a legend among bass fishermen across America. You mentioned that name, that new Lunker Lodge at Lake Seminole. And he grew up before that dam was built. He grew up walking in those streams and talking and finding those, all those little areas and all. And it's just fascinating, man. I just think it's important that we recognize our history and heritage. So in bass fishing, we're going to honor Jack Wingate today. So we're going to take a break and come right back into this video.
Your vision is precious. If an emergency arises, you don't want to be sitting in a hospital waiting room. Accidents and injuries can happen outside of your workday. That's why our team of physicians provide emergency eye care to our patients anytime, day or night. You can count on your local experts in eye care to be there for you whenever you need us. The Eye Center of North Florida.
9 doctors, 1 vision, yours.
Come join the Panhandle Outdoors team just in time for the holidays. Beat the rush and stock up on our team shirts and hats in a wide variety of colors and sizes. For your convenience, we offer a Panhandle Outdoors shop at panhandleoutdoors.net. Simply visit our website and click shop to bring in the holiday season. Be a member of the Panhandle Outdoors team, Florida's only live daily outdoor show.
Bill Kramer Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC is Panama City's exclusive full-line dealership. Built on a 45-year foundation of trust and total customer satisfaction in all departments. including our huge pre-owned department, where we'll pay top dollar for your current automobile as a trade-in, or we'll place your vehicle on our lot and help you sell it. At Bill Kramer Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. 4 decades, 3 generations, 1 tradition.
We are so lucky to live in North Florida. We have some of the best fresh and saltwater fishing in the world. My biggest problem is not catching fish, but trying to decide what kind of fish I want to catch. No matter what I'm after, I always stop at Sunjammers Water Sports first. They have just what I need: rods and reels, line, tackle, and most important, live bait. Yes, sir, we sure are lucky.
Country roads take me home to the place I belong.
Backcountry Roads with Byron Spires, a program about interesting people, interesting places, and a little history, too. It's all in the coverage area of 93.3 and just around the next bend of those backcountry roads. And now, here's Byron.
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another episode of Backcountry Roads. And today's episode is a little different because you've heard it all before, but we think it's worth repeating. The voice is that of Jack Wingate. Today, that voice is still. Jack passed away after a long battle with cancer this past week. I first met Jack when I was a little kid, and I've stayed in touch with him ever since. For a while, I lived on Lake Seminole, and if you lived up that way, you knew Jack because he was as much a part of the lake as the breeze and the water. Jack's famous Wingate's Lodge has been a meeting place for a lot of local folks who enjoyed food and a yarn that was even better. Jack would sit behind the counter and hold court for hours. Kids loved him. They called him Uncle Jack. The original restaurant was up on Highway 97, started by his daddy. In the 1950s, Jack moved the restaurant and the lodge, and unlike dozens of other fish camps, Wingate's Lodge was promoted skillfully to the point that the lodge became a draw within itself. David Gardner tells the story of getting off a small plane in Alaska and noted that the pilot was wearing a Wingate's Lodge cap. Alaska. Now that's being well known. Of course, Jack was a fishing guide of mythical reputation. For years, he wrote columns in over 30 papers. He did a regular radio show. He did TV. Jack was a master promoter. He was not feeling so well, but rallied and sent us a column at the Herald a little over a month ago. Jack was the lake for a lot of people, and of course, the lake wasn't there always. Jack knew what it is now, the lake, as a boy. He knew where the springs were, and he could take you in a boat to the place where the springs fed right into the lake, just under the surface.
I had the opportunity to enjoy the river before it was dammed up, and all the springs. I was in every one of the springs that you could name before the dam backed up, and those springs were, Lord have mercy, such beautiful places. The Whiddon Springs, and the Blue Springs, and the White Springs, and the Devil Den, and the Shackleford, Long Springs, Wheat Springs.
All of them are underwater now.
All of them are underwater now, but I still know where they were at. And there's still, some of them, quite a few of them, flowing. I know Whiddon Springs, I used to dive down in it, and it comes out from the south side as it's about an 8-inch hole in the lime rock, and it spews water out. You can't even get to it. It spews out so much. I mean, I couldn't swim
against it.
Against it, yeah. That's how hard it's spewing out, and it's still flowing. You can drop a thermometer down in there, and it'll tell you. But that's quite an interesting thing. But what Mr. Whiddon did in the Revolutionary War, I have never been able to figure out. But the land grant is dated 1795. I have seen the land grant. It is in a cedar case, and as you lift the case up, it's how long it's been in there. There's an eyewitness account of the Boston Tea Party. That's how old this wooden case is, a little cedar chest. But what he did, no, I haven't been able to
But they
find
paid him with
a square mile
of land.
Yes. Most people only got 260 acres.
He must have been pretty important then.
He was up. But anyway, he's quite an interesting person.
A lot of people talk about, I was too young, of course, to remember it, but I've heard my relatives talk about the river traffic. And now that the lake's up, of course, they've quit it. There is no river traffic anymore, right?
It's interesting that you said that this morning. As of this morning, the Bluntstown gauge is reading less than 3 feet.
Whoa.
At Bluntstown. And upstream from Bluntstown, there's a sandbar that goes from bank to bank. And you could not get an average bateau across it right now with a 10-horse engine on it or 18-horse engine.
When you stop by Blue Water Outriggers, you will find everything for your outdoor adventure. Stock up on all your favorite brands and shop for some of the latest outdoor gear and accessories. You can also shop online and have your orders delivered straight to your home. Our flagship store is nestled right off of Highway 98 in the Port City Shopping Center, just steps away from the Port St. Joe Marina. You will love our selection, our prices, and our friendly service.
Coastal Grill, located in the heart of beautiful Port St. Joe, was established in 2002 by Patty and Dewey Blaylock as a family-owned coastal restaurant. In Port St. Joe, we meet at Sunset. Sunset's open for lunch and dinner every day of the week. Fresh seafood's brought in daily and served in a variety of traditional and creative ways. Try our award-winning gumbos. Steaks are grilled simple and perfect over an open flame grill. Our homemade soups, sauces, and salad dressings are so popular, we sell them retail. And don't forget, see the sunset at Sunset.
When you're looking for sales, parts, and service for your outboard, all in one location, you're looking for BJ's Marine. Your authorized Tohatsu and Nissan dealer. BJ's Marine does it all. They have outboard parts and a service center and used motor sales too. Tohatsu, reliable, dependable, fuel efficient, and lightweight. Tohatsu Outboards, technology for the next generation. BJ's Marine, 1317 Transmitter Road since 1991. Captain's Cove Marina, designed with fishermen in mind. Easy access to the best fishing along Florida's Forgotten Coast. Deep sea fishing, fly fishing from a kayak, cruising endless miles of bayous, bays, and the intercoastal waterway. Count on the captain's crew to work hard to make your day on the water the best ever. Captain's Cove Marina, 1617 Grouper Avenue, Port St. Joe, 850-227-3357.
Have a tunnel boat to get over that sandbar coming upstream or going downstream. A lot of people try to leave the salt water and come up. In fact, a houseboat
can't even get up there.
Can't even get to it. They've missed their chances now. It's too late to get up away from
is that
hurricane.
From the lake being held back, or is that because the water hasn't been allowed to flow?
They haven't dredged it.
They used to dredge it.
They used to dredge it completely and keep but there's no way any barge traffic can get in there. So why are we still under the Corps of Engineers of operating the intercoastal waterways?
Now, in even after they created the lake, you could come up the river and into the lake and go to Bainbridge on the Flint and to Columbus on the Chattahoochee.
And we had enormous traffic into Bainbridge. We had a Morton Salt Company had a big thing up there, and a big steel plant made bridges, prefabricated bridges. That was there, and ammonium nitrate came in by barge,
yep.
And we had propane coming in by barge, and then asphalt. We still got a big asphalt plant in Bainbridge, but it comes in by railroad now.
I know. I can remember up until they quit the barge traffic on Lake Seminole, being out there fishing, and sometimes you'd count 2 or 3 within a half a day's fishing trip.
That's right.
Going up the river or coming down the river. So there's nothing there now.
Nothing, no traffic. There hasn't been a barge up that river. Oh, it's been several years since one up the river.
Why did they stop it?
They can't get over the sandbars down there, and you can't think about it. These barges originate in either Louisiana or Texas, somewhere out there, and by the time they can get from there over to the mouth of the Apalachicola River and Intercoastal Waterway, the river elevation can change so much you can't depend on it being there, see?
Well, who's responsible for the river?
The Corps of Engineers.
Why did they quit dredging?
The state of Florida refused to let them dredge anymore because of those big sand dunes down there that they blocked off so much of the river.
So, okay, well, let me ask you this. There was a river restoration program going on off of the southern end of the river near where the Chipola River enters it. Tell me, do you know if, I mean, that was a multi-million-dollar project where they were supposed to be putting the river back like it used to be or something. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, and they did take out the dam that kept the Chipola River, kept the water at a certain level in the Chipola River.
That was Dead Lakes.
The Dead Lakes.
Yeah.
Well, Dead Lakes, now, you've got all those homes that were on the banks of that thing. They're half a mile or a mile from any water.
That reflects Jack's interest in virtually everything. Jack was not just a fishing guide, he was a historian of considerable depth. He had found Fort Gadsden where free blacks, Indians, and some of what are now Seminoles held out against the British. As you heard, Jack had little treasure troves of old documents. History was a love of his. But it was outdoors that he relished. On one show we talked alligators. I have never seen so many alligators in my life. What's going on?
Are they coming up in your yard yet?
Yeah.
They'll get your cat and they'll get your dog. Those people, and I got to say this, it comes out of Atlanta. They issued 144 permits for Seminole, Decatur, Grady, Mitchell, Early, and Miller counties. They could you could issue from Brockett's, from Faithful Landing to Brockett's Slough, take 140 out there, and from Brockett's Slough to Wingett's, you could take out another 140, and then from Wingett's to the old Boosters Club Landing and take out another 144 there, and then from there to the dam. There ain't no telling how many you could take out there and never miss them. I mean, there's some farm.
Would you miss any?
No, you wouldn't miss them. They need to thin the herd. Lake Seminole has the fastest growing chain of alligators in the country. That the food chain in Seminole proper is
it's out of sync right now.
They grow faster. The food chain is there. The big white Amur carp that they've got in there, I don't know where they come from. They're in there, but he can't hide. That white carp cannot hide. And the suckers, the red horse suckers with the red belly, and the red carp, he can't hide.
What's the biggest one you've seen out there recently? Because I know they're getting longer.
Recently, 12 foot, I think, is the largest one that's so far.
That's been taken?
Yeah, but I butchered one time, 13 feet and inches for the game war. They wouldn't even tackle trying to butcher him. And I butchered it out for him and skinned the hide out and give it to him.
Is that big alligator at Faithful Landing still there?
Still there. Nobody took him. When he stands up and starts walking off, you don't want to be around now, I'm telling you.
If Jack loved wildlife, he was not so fond of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Jack joined in many battles with the Corps, but was quick to give credit where credit was due. For example, the Wildlife Observatory facility at the Jim Woodruff Dam.
I think it's a great thing. It's they've got one thing is the Wildlife Observatory on the lake. You can see all kind of critters up on that lake. Osprey, bald eagles. At times you can see 5 or 6 at one time.
Yep.
Bald eagles, and you can see osprey. Just funniest thing in the world to watch an osprey.
Oh, I love it.
Deer, you got turkey, and in the wintertime, geese and ducks. It's a great thing. Down below the dam, the park, the Chattahoochee Park, they got this beautiful. They're working on a playground, and they're building new restrooms and all down there. And it's just going to be
And then
great.
with this observatory, it's going to really make it neat. They're going to have river trips and stuff like that. I mentioned the epic battles with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Jack was their nemesis. If he felt what they were doing was wrong, and he felt that way often, some years ago, Jack went to war with the Corps yet again, this time about a stand of trees. These were not Jack's trees, inasmuch as he didn't own them. But Jack knew that beneath those old trees was the final resting place of a number of African Americans. Some had died as slaves, others had died after serving their country. Indeed, as you'll hear, Jack would carry American flags up to their grave sites to honor them on Memorial Day. I doubt too many people knew that gesture of Jack's. I certainly didn't know the story until he told it on Backcountry Roads.
About 2 months ago, we noticed the Corps of Engineers from the Chattahoochee office, well, not just the Chattahoochee office, but up on the hillside behind Wingett's Lodge, marking trees and setting up a place to cut the timber. They never said anything to us down at the place there about it, and they were going to use the big parking lot we have down there, the sandy parking lot, for a staging area. Those trees, there's some trees up there 80 and 90 feet long, ideal pole stuff, but the longleaf yellow pine, and that the hill is on a 45-degree angle with the lake, and you cannot nobody can tell me that you can clear cut that property and not cause a serious erosion problem down in the lake. When the recovery road, which goes up on the south side of the property, is naturally cut, it's 3,600 feet of it has been eroded 5 foot deep. Yeah. with just natural traffic before the road was paved.
My name's Captain Rick Corley. I'm a SAMS accredited Marine Surveyor, NAM certified Marine Surveyor, and IAME certified Marine Investigator. Been surveying since 1969. Was taught by my father, who is the oldest, longest practicing Marine Surveyor in the world. We do all types of survey, commercial or pleasure. Steel, aluminum, fiberglass, wood, makes no difference. Give us a call at 850-527-5287 or visit us online. We'd appreciate your visits.
This holiday season, give the gift of nature. A walk through nature, Florida's Emerald Coast, is the perfect gift for the nature lover on your list. Whether they live close by or far away, they will love seeing the beautiful seascapes, wildlife, and lighthouses that Florida's Gulf Coast has to offer. Only $14.95 plus $4.95 shipping at naturewalkdvd.com or send check or money order to the address on the screen. A walk through nature, visually stunning.
It's gonna be a good day. You're pounding through the trails in a Kubota RTV utility vehicle with a powerful diesel engine, durable hydrostatic transmission, 4-wheel drive, power steering, and an 1,100-pound payload. It'll take you where you've never been before. A little place called Satisfaction. The Kubota RTV 900 with real tree camo. Every day should be this good.
See and save on all Kubota tractors and equipment at Sowell Tractor today.
The greatest investment we can all make is in the lives of our children and grandchildren.
To help you invest for retirement, handle your IRA rollover, protect your family with life or long-term care insurance. Call my dad for an appointment at his new office on Wilson Avenue behind Lowe's. And he'll give you a copy of his most recent book, 7 Steps to Serious Money. For free! Walter Woodrick, your Serious Money Advisor!
Welcome back. There's a lot more to that. Maybe later on we can show it. That's a great, to me, up close and personal to a true legend in the bass fishing community, and also so many different things. I mean, some of the history goes back not just to the Civil War, Indian War, but back to Revolutionary War. So it was just great. I hope you enjoyed that. I sure did. And I want to thank Byron Spires for putting that together and giving us permission to show it on our show today. let's take a look at our fishing game forecast by Express Lane. Our times today, we're looking at 9:35 to 11:35 this morning and tonight, from 10:10 to 12:10. Okay, so that's important. Every day I get people to talk about the times. Also, another thing important about today, I've missed this at the beginning of the show because we're trying to get through it, but today is our winter solstice. You know, really tonight, December 21st, December 22nd, we're looking at, if you look over here, this is when, right here, okay, this is our winter solstice right in here. And what's going on now, we're closest to the sun. We're also at a wider angle, though, and so we'll be at a spring solstice before you know it. But today's a winter solstice, and we want to be aware of that. Now, tomorrow, we were talking about earlier, we're going to do our tarpon dock seafood giveaway. That's going to be the big red snapper and a bag of oysters. And also, I'm going to have some good pictures tomorrow. Some folks have been sending in some nice pictures of some nice fish and a buck or two to share with y'all. This weekend, of course, Christmas is coming up Sunday. We all know that, and everybody's so busy now. But Jeff and I were just talking. Both of us have the same words. We're pretty close to finish, but I know some of y'all in the same way. If you haven't finished, I'm going to try to wrap mine up today, and so we'll have some time tomorrow maybe to go fishing. But this rain is coming through. We got a rain coming late this afternoon, maybe tonight, and then it's going to start turning cold. It's not going to be real cold. It's going to be cool and windy. That's the big thing. We all continue talking about the wind. I was talking to some folks last night. We just haven't been able to fish or hardly do anything with this wind. But saw Justin Leake last night. He had a couple of good trips recently, though. So what he does is just like we have to do, just get out of the wind. Okay, find a place you can get out of the wind. Also, I was mentioning about the resolutions. If you have some New Year's resolutions you want to make on outdoor resolutions, some of the things you want to get done this coming year, 2012, send them to me and we'll share it on the show. And then maybe sometimes when you get it accomplished, call and let us know or send us a picture of you doing that. I'm going to wrap things up. We're going to, like I say, next week is going to be a special week because we're going to do a review of the year and all. So be watching on that on Tuesday morning. So let's wrap it up. I want to thank you all for watching the show again. Hope you enjoyed that with Jack Wingate tribute. And today, while you're out there shopping or driving or whatever, stop and get a chance. Do something good. Always some needy people out there. Do something good for them. And you have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.